I recently came back to streaming on Twitch after about 3 years away. I originally started streaming back in August 2020 and streamed pretty consistently for about 10 months until May 2021, when I went live for the last time, until recently. My average viewership at that time was around 13, streaming about 3 times a week. So I was the very definition of a small streamer. So you may ask, why should I care about what this guy has to say? You absolutely don't have to care. I just wanted to make an account of my experiences and set a few goals for my hopefully longer future of streaming. And maybe some small streamers can relate to my experience and take something away from this. But of course, I must preface this is not a streaming advice video. Anyone with an average viewership of 13 from 3 years ago should not be giving advice on streaming and growth or anything relating to it. This is for me, about my experience. I came back to streaming about 3 weeks ago. At the time of recording, I've streamed about 4 times with an average of about 8 viewers, which I'm incredibly proud of. The fact that people wanted to come back and watch me is amazing, but I'll talk more about this later. The rest of this is taken from my first stream back, where I talk about why I have returned to streaming, why I stopped in the first place, and some lessons that I can take going forward. I'm going to apologize now. There is some pretty rough audio cuts and musical tonal shifts. This was cut straight from the VOD recording before I worked out how to have separate audio and music tracks in OBS. So sorry about that. Anyway, over to me. I wanted to just kind of talk quite generally about why I decided to start streaming again. And I think the first significant reason is because of all of you guys, not to sound too cringe, like a big soft lad, but you know, the community, right? It was something that was like really special for like a really short amount of time. And it was lovely being able to connect with people that we weren't able to see because of COVID lockdowns, and meeting loads of lovely new people and reconnecting with old friends and making new friends. It's a part of my life that I missed, and I wanted to get back to it in some way, shape or form. The next one is because I want to make cool content. And I don't like using the word content, but there's not really any other way to describe it in the modern YouTube and Twitch world. Is people call it content, so you kind of have to just sort of call it content. Or I could just say videos. And then so that's a way that these streams will be slightly different than what I've done previously, is because I will be structuring them in a way that I will be able to kind of like take a chunk of it and then make a cool video from it, or have an idea for a long stream where I cover a bunch of topics that can then be reformatted into a coherent YouTube video or whatever. This whole section may in itself become a YouTube video if I think it's interesting enough. I think, maybe. And the third reason is as a personal project. So, I have a full-time job, things going on in life, but I haven't really got anything that I've like properly stuck my teeth into as a personal project kind of since streaming last time. And I've tried to get the ball rolling on making YouTube videos. I've written like a bunch of scripts for various different essays and things, and it never really gets anywhere. I always get to a point where I just kind of hit a wall. And I think if I'm streaming, I'm making the whole thing, or the majority of the thing, here. Like, so I'm doing kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So, this kind of comes into the whole make cool videos and as a personal project. They are kind of in the same realm. So that's why, in a nutshell, why I want to do this. I want to reconnect with part of my life that I miss and that I loved for a relatively short period of time, but it felt like a really long period of time because it was quite meaningful. And then I want to make stuff. Crescendo. So the second point is, why did I stop in the first place? For some people, it might have come across as kind of sudden. I just sort of didn't go live again. For me, it wasn't so sudden. It was kind of a pretty gradual process of moving to a point where I didn't really feel comfortable or confident or very happy with going live. I didn't think that my streams were very entertaining. Whatever. Anyway, that's irrelevant. It's not a sob story. There were a few reasons why, at the point that I stopped streaming, that I did stop streaming. The one thing that kind of like I think was a catalyst to me stopping when I did was because we had just moved house, which led to loads of technical issues when I was trying to stream, which obviously can be overcome. But there was also lots of other stuff. There was stuff going on in my personal life and all of that stuff, and it just all spiraled into a ball of I'm not comfortable and I'm not happy, you know, doing this thing. And I missed it, but I had absolutely zero desire to stream. With all of that, I felt like when I was streaming, it wasn't very good, and then kind of viewership dropped off, and that was, you know, I think that was like a thing that everyone experienced at that point in time because it was kind of the end of COVID lockdowns and things like that, so people were obviously had less time to watch streams and all that stuff. We moved cities as well as a house, and that was a big deal. Exactly. So, you know, there was a lot of stress going on. I was unemployed, and obviously being unemployed is a great time to do this sort of thing. But if I had, you know, mentally, I just wasn't there. So, yeah. And then also I just simply got burnt out. I think I wasn't doing enough to make it enjoyable for myself. I was kind of just thought I want to play this video game, and then I would try and play it, and then I wouldn't enjoy it, and so yeah, going forward I want to alleviate those issues. It sounds like I'm like blaming it on other things. It was entirely my own decision to stop. I tried to keep to a three streams a week schedule, and that whilst it was like, you know, that's not too much. There's people that stream every single day. When I'm just sort of going live without any aim or without any sort of purpose, it ended up just you know, burnout's burnout. So the next thing is from thinking about why I want to come back and looking at the kind of issues that I had when I did it before, what have I learned? You know, what lessons can be taken for me personally? So I think that one thing I learned, and one thing when reflecting upon it, is that I focus way too much on what I consider unimportant things. I feel like I changed the look of my stream 17 million times, thinking that like, oh, this will make it better, and like not actually thinking about the actual content of the stream, like how entertaining it was. I was just like, oh, this game will be. This music doesn't really fit the vibe. It's fine. I just thought this game will be fun, and then I played it, and I was like, and it also kind of affected my relationship with video games. And this sounds super cringe, and I apologize, but it did. So I think back to the first time I played Hollow Knight, which was on stream. And I've always been a big time video game lover, as many of you know. Like, all of this is about video games. All of the videos I made are about video games. Kind of half of my time speaking to people is about video games. But yeah, I think back to the first time that I played Hollow Knight, which was on stream. And it's for anyone that's played Hollow Knight, it's a very stressful game. It's a very, very good game. But the first time I played it was on stream, and it's a game that I think it doesn't tell you a lot, and it's hard. And all of those things combined with also trying to focus on all of the elements that come in with streaming made me not enjoy the game and not like it when I first played it. I've now gone back and I've played through it like twice now, and I absolutely adore that game. And that affected my relationship with it and my perception of it. And I feel like I had that with a few games. I feel like there was a few games where I started them on stream and I was like, rah. So my focus now going forward will be slightly different when it comes to actually playing games. I want to play games that I think will be a good stream game specifically. That will be entertaining, and, you know, again, back to the previous point of wanting to make enjoyable content out of it. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I'm going to go with yes. The next point, moving on, is that I feel like I relied too heavily on chat. And it's obviously, it's amazing and fantastic that you guys are here, and I love it, and it helps so much. But there are points, particularly later in when I was streaming before, where it got quite quiet, and I got to a point where I became so reliant on chat that wasn't able to fill the silence with my own kind of commentary and my own being entertaining for the purpose of being entertaining rather than the chat interaction. And I absolutely love having a conversation, but obviously when you are a small streamer, there are times when it's pretty quiet. And I think I need to learn, even if chat is active and chat is being lovely and being here and being supportive, try and focus on being entertaining for the sake of being entertaining. I don't know if that makes me sound like an asshole. For some reason in my head, I sound like an asshole. I apologize if I do. And then I think the last thing that I learned is that I looked at numbers too much. As a streamer, you need to look at your numbers. You need to look at your concurrent viewers. I personally don't think you should do it during a stream because it can be kind of a bummer if people drop off. But after your stream, I think you need to look at peaks and troughs and what happened at those times and, you know, adapt content around that. But I was just looking at numbers and I saw number went down. I'm sad. And I didn't do anything about it. So that bummed me out. That led to kind of, that definitely aided in my burnout. It definitely aided in my kind of like disenjoyment. That's not a word. My not enjoying streaming. When the numbers go up, it's absolute magic. I remember, I think it was my birthday stream, and obviously that was pretty a special stream because it's my birthday and I did like a 10-hour stream or whatever. But it's one of those ones where I ended up getting like 30 viewers, like naturally. I didn't get raided or anything like that, and I was like, I'm the king of the fucking world. And then, but it was like, you know, obviously it was a special stream. There was lots going on. I had a bit of a party. It was during COVID. All of these things, and you kind of have to put everything into perspective. And the same with when viewership is low. You have to like look at it, study why it's low, not just get bummed out about it. So that's something that I will definitely try to do going forward, is not allow those things to get me down so much. You know, not to not focus on it, because I think it is something that needs to be focused on, but just not have it make me sad and think I'm bad at what I'm doing. Because not to toot my own horn, I think I'm quite good at this. I think I'm quite entertaining. I don't know. I think it's just, I think that's why I want this to be like a personal project for me. This new round of streaming, I want it to be a personal project for me, where I think that I'm making the best content that I can make. I'm doing the best that I can do on stream, as I'm as entertaining as I can possibly be. Number go up, number go down. Hopefully number go up, but as long as I'm proud of the thing that I'm making, that's the most important thing. I think that summarizes the whole process. I've been thinking about this for a really long time, about whether I want to come back to streaming, and like how I would do it and all these things. And I've been saying I'll only come back to streaming if I'm making other content so that people could come over from that. But I just wasn't making that content. Like I was trying to, and I was like trying to motivate myself to like write and edit and all of these things, but it just kept on hitting a wall. Whereas like streaming, I'm making content right now. You know, I'm doing the thing, and it's, you know, I'm talking to you guys, and it's lovely, and all of this stuff. And then I can, you know, potentially chop out this part, edit it up, and then I've got a video. I don't need to think so much about the specific words. Obviously, I do need to think about the specific words that I'm saying, but I'm not writing it down beforehand and then reading off a script. I'm just sort of like coming off the cuff kind of thing, which isn't always good because I've been distracted and lost my train of thought 17,000 times. But that's what editing software's for. If I think it's entertaining, there's probably other people that will think it's entertaining, and then hopefully more people will find it. And blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.